Oh, I did it again. Damn it. Man, I keep hitting I keep hitting the damn wrong button on the intro. So I screwed it up. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Huddle. It's me, Coach Muddle, flying solo tonight. Nevada Nick, doing his 52 other sports shows. Couldn't squeeze us in anymore on Thursday night. So, I was a little late trying to get a fill in, but I will start trying to get a fill in on Thursday night. So we'll see how that works out. And, let me get since I'm solo and I'm used to Nevada Nick running the controls. And I think part of that is only because he doesn't really like the intro music and he wants his own music or something. But, so he'd rather work the controls, I guess. So, so it's going to be me. We're covering it. We're going to get into, I got really some stuff to talk about. So I'm kind of glad that I am solo right now because I get to kind of cover what I want to cover now, because it is one of those things where we're going to see Giants, big game, Eli, Ring of Honor getting inducted, big game. I mean, you can't really start 0-3. I mean, really, really bad. But first I want to get into it because I got a lot of heat from the Giant fan base, the family of Giant Facebook pages that allow me to post my show too. And I'm really terrible, and as everyone knows, typing and doing this technology stuff. So I like to run my mouth, and that's what I'm going to do. Okay, so I got a lot of heat from the Giant fan base because all of a sudden Daniel Jones has one game halfway decent, and all of a sudden we're ready to crown him friggin' taking us to the Super Bowl or something. But I'm sorry, it's one game, and he's still not the guy. Okay? He's not the guy. So what I had done, I went out there and said, and I've been saying this since the whole Deshaun Watson thing came up that he wants out of Houston, send him Danny Dimes, send him Saquon Barkley, send him Tony because we don't even use the damn guy, waste the pick, and let's move on with our day because he is better than what we have. And I don't want to hear because, oh my God, he's the worst guy on the planet. How could you want that guy on your team? What a piece of garbage. Let me tell you something. What you do in your personal life is what you do. I'm basing it on what you do inside the white lines of the football field. And he is a definite upgrade to the quarterback position for the New York Football Giants. And he plugs a lot of glaring holes on that offensive line and can make use of all of the weapons that are around him. And I'm sorry. I'm sorry that, Saquon Barkley, he is not the guy either. Let him go be that guy somewhere else. Because, look, we could have had Nick Chubb, and he's doing great, tearing it up in Cleveland. He was there in the second round. But no, we had to go Barkley because, he was the fix-all at that time. Because if you're drafting a running back at the number 2 spot, you're telling us we're running back away from going to the Super Bowl. That's what you're telling me. But we weren't. We were a lot of pieces away, and we could have traded out of that. Hell, Sam Darnold. Look at Sam Darnold. What have I been saying? Sam Darnold's a great quarterback. But the Jets are a dumpster fire. And look, now he's on a good team. Could you imagine Sam Darnold sitting behind Eli for a year or two? because they thought Eli should have been done 2 years ago. So Sam Darnold would have been perfect to sit behind Eli and go into there. Then we could have used those other picks on offensive linemen. And we could have got a good running back in the second, third, fourth round, where so many great running backs seem to come out of the draft in that spot. But oh man, I am such a terrible guy because I think Deshaun Watson should be a New York Football Giant. You're goddamn right I do. Because Daniel Jones is not the guy. I'm sorry. All I see is Dave Brown. Every time he walks out on the field, I see Dave Brown. That's it. Nothing else. Dave Brown. But maybe it's Duke. I don't know. But quarterbacks don't come out of Duke. But Dave Gettleman thinks so. And by the way, in case Giant family hasn't been keeping score, since Dave Gettleman took over, the Giants have only won 15 games. And, we used to laugh at Cleveland, laughed at them. Laughing. Okay? Yes, David, I know. Big talk of him going to the Dolphins. Big talk. And honestly, I honestly think the only reason that you're not seeing Deshaun Watson moved is that point. They're waiting for this legal trouble and the NFL to kind of get their act together and figure that out. Because I think right now, with the uncertainty, you're going to look. They're going to get low ball deals for him. They want to, pump up the value of Deshaun Watson. So, and I think it'll be a bidding war, and hopefully the Giants' new general manager will be involved in that bidding war to get that quarterback. Along with the Dolphins, I could see the Redskins being in that mix there for him, and possibly the Vikings. Those are just a couple of teams I throw out there as part of the mix for him. I think will drive that value up, and you might have to give away some stuff. And I think the Giants have some pieces plus some picks to give away, which would make it a little more enticing. I know that the Dolphins would give Tua probably in return as well, but I think Barkley is a bigger chip, bigger piece to add to that. So, that's just my thought process and the Giant fan base. And before my ADD jumps off, I get sidetracked with it when Dave jumps in with the Dolphin stuff. And by the way, Dave, I know I got it lined up here. I got one of the Dolphin insiders. I don't know if you remember Tanner. He's trying to get back on the show and talk his Dolphins stuff. So make sure you check back with that. But look, the Giants have only won 15 games, and we as Giant fans, we're consider ourselves the upper crust because the Jets are a dumpster fire in New York. We are, we've won Super Bowls. We have stuff to hang our hat on. But guess what? We laughed at Cleveland. And we laughed because we sent Odell there, laughed at him. Oh, man, boy, did we just take them to the cleaners. Well, all of a sudden, Cleveland's contending for a division title at the very least. They're a playoff team. They were in the playoffs last year. Where were we? Sitting at home with a thumb up our asses because Dave Gettleman keeps telling us we needed receivers. Our offensive line is fine. And look, get well prayers, Nick Gates, buddy. I just read it might be a career-ending injury. I hope not. Hope you're able to battle through and get back. You never want to see that happen to anybody. I don't care with that. But that offensive line is horrible, and we need to fix it. And okay. All of a sudden, Daniel Jones had all this time on Thursday, but, let's pump the brakes for a second. I think the Redskin defense was reading the press clippings all offseason. They kind of anointed themselves, and I think they haven't really stepped up and began to play. So I'm not putting any stock into that game on Thursday night. Like all of a sudden, these Giants, oh, we're back. We only lost because it was offside. Shouldn't have came to that. Shouldn't have came to that at all. Oh, offsides. Shouldn't have dropped the pass. Shouldn't have got a holding call. 2 false start calls to stall a drive. Okay? And where's our pass rush, Dave Gettleman? Where's the defense? Oh, we got these guys. Because here we heard the same thing about Will Hernandez. We got a first-round guy in the second round because our crack team of scouts did their job, and we had this guy rated as a first-rounder. Well, guess what? He's not a first-rounder. The guy might not even be in the league next year. But we're hearing the same thing about the kid from Georgia, the defensive end. And where was he? Come on now. I'm tired of hearing this. Oh, we had him rated as a first rounder. We got him in the second round. Come on, man. Then we need to revamp. Where's the Maras? Revamp the entire general manager, director of player personnel, the scouts. We need to get some guys in there. Come on. Because that obviously, look, Dave, if you look at it, the center moved the football, which they're allowed to do, pick up the ball, move it before they snap it, the rule. They're allowed to do that, and it normally isn't called. But that's why it was almost perfect with that. And I don't know why it was called. It was, just a homer call. And it was BS, 100%. But the fact is, the NFL is not going to all of a sudden take a W away from Washington and give it to the Giants. It's not happening. So it is what it is. The Giants are 0-2 for the last 5 years. 0-2. Here we go again. Unacceptable. And now, we got Atlanta coming in. Well, what? Atlanta, because they got blown out by Tampa, makes the Giants played so good Thursday, we're automatically going to beat them? They're a 3.5-point favorite at home. Means the game's even. I ain't touching that with a 10-foot pole. I'm not the gambler. We're going to talk to Levon and Nick on Sunday about it. But I guarantee he's going to stay away from that damn game. Unbelievable. Ring of honor. Hopefully the Giants come out and show a little respect for Eli and win the football game. But really, I don't really see the Giants getting very many wins. I think that we're going to be a top 5 draft pick again. So all I can do is root against the Bears and hope that the Bears have a top 10 draft pick so that the Giants have 2 top 10s, and let's move on with our day. And let's start rebuilding from the inside out. Offensive line, defensive line. Let's go. You paid Leonard Williams all this money to be Robin. Again, Robin. We're paying Robins to be Batman. And we're not finding Batman. We're getting JPP. We gave away our last Batman was JPP. Right? Correct me, somebody, if I'm wrong. Anthony, what are you talking about? The Giants problem? I love Joe Judge. I really do, but for him, all the discipline and talk and hype that he's given us, to see that game Thursday really, really, disappointed me. I'm disheartened with the amount of penalties that the Giants have. Okay? But the O-line is the O-line. Come on. Everything runs around the O-line. I don't care if Belichick was here. I don't care if you dig up Vince Lombardi and let him to start call plays. That O-line don't block. Ain't nothing happening. So, yeah, it is the O-line. And that goes back to the general manager. And that goes back to, I feel bad for Joe Judge because this was, I feel like this was Mara really thought that Bill Belichick was going to come. And you know why he didn't come? Do you want to know? This is just because of Dave Gettleman. Because of Dave Gettleman. And Belichick said, here's one of my guys, take him. But I gotta believe that Joe Judge did not want to pick a wide receiver in the first round. Because in what? And it annoys me to no end, and maybe it's that Boston accent of Dave Gettleman, and he talks down to the Giant fan base that we don't know about football. But how do you go and sign one of the top free agent wide receivers and then go draft a receiver? When you say how high you are on these guys. You went and signed 3 receivers in the offseason. Galladay, Ross, and the other guy slips me, and not also Rudolph, the tight end, obviously, with that. But there was another receiver. But you sign these guys, and then you go draft a receiver. And I have more yards. You have more yards than he does. Your first-round pick's supposed to step in and play day 1 and make a difference. We're going into week 3, and this guy may not play yet. So where does that come from? Where does that come from? I don't know. I have no idea. That was a waste of pick. Again, goes back to, no, Deborah, I'm not calming down, okay? It's my show tonight. I'm solo. I get to talk. I'm trying to fit it all in because Nevada Nick's not here to cut me off, So it's kind of a good thing. I like this going solo. I get to vent my frustration about the New York Football Giants. And, the staple that was it's, the staple that we saw last year was, the staple was the defense last year. How good that defense. That was a top 10 defense. But man, I mean, they can't even, they can't even cover a newspaper. I mean, come on now. It's ridiculous because again, the Giants didn't learn their lesson. Because I'll date back again. Lendell Joseph. Remember, we said, we don't need Lendell Joseph. We're not going to pay him. Let's move on from him. Okay? And we did. And again, we had all kinds of issues in that defensive line. Remember? And now we just did the same thing. The same thing. So they are a staple. What are we stapling now? So anyway, we are now you just lost my train of thought where I am because all I see is they are a staple. Correct. Yes, the staple. Anyway, so what I'm getting at is that the Giants, this is the same thing again. We don't want to pay guys, but we wind up paying the wrong guys. And Leonard Williams, we bid it against ourselves, and we gave away more draft picks than we needed to get Leonard Williams. And he had a big year during COVID, which how do you count that? Great, they played and they played well, with no fans, but it is, and he had a big year because yes, he's looking for the money. And I'm going to throw another name out, what Leonard Williams reminds me of. Albert Haynesworth. Remember him? Got the biggest contract, and then we never heard from him again. Again, he is a Robin, not a Batman. So it would have been fine if we drafted a real legit defensive end. And I know maybe me being a homer again, but Rousseau from the U, he's too raw. Well, guess what? He had 2 sacks last week. Really, really stepped in and is a first-round pick, making a difference up in Buffalo. I'm just saying, I'm just saying there's a guy, the kid from Penn State, I believe, went after the Giants pick. There was a couple of guys there that you could have picked instead of a wide receiver. Really? I mean, it irks me to no end, this buffoonery that we are now the East Coast Cleveland Browns. That's what the New York Football Giants are turning into. The Cleveland Browns East is what we are. Dave Gettleman, John Mara, okay? That's what we're talking about. I probably should turn the light on before I started. It's getting dark sooner now, so it's getting dark. I might have to jump up and turn the light on. So, but enough with – I'm going to lower my blood pressure a little bit now. And, yeah. Yes, exactly, Anthony. Why do you sign a guy for 4 years and then draft a guy? Because Darius Slayton basically is for free. Okay? Yeah, what are you saying? I guess you keep the lights on? I know. I got a face for radio. They put me on TV. I know. Yes. I know it doesn't work anymore, but technically I'm on video, so it still works. But, but anyway, why are you doing that? Darius Slayton basically for free. You drafted the guy in the 5th round? A late round pick came out, and he is another. Look, Dave, trust me, we're getting there. We're getting there. 5 first-round picks in 2 years, but we're getting there in the years. Look, Saquon Barkley, because we're not paying him. So why are we on a pipe dream that Saquon Barkley is the future of the Giants? He is not. This is year 4. Next year is his option. We'll franchise him 1 more year, and then he's gone. We're done with Barkley, and we've moved on. So there's wasted pick number 1. Next, the following year, Daniel Jones. I don't even have to say anything there. Year 3. Andrew Thomas. Andrew Thomas. The tackle. It's Thomas. I'm sorry. I apologize to him for screwing up his name. Okay. Anyway, well, and the jury's still out. He's a rookie, and so let's pump the brakes. But again, and oh, by the way, let me throw another name out there for my Giant family. Justin Pugh, because remember the Giants told us, oh, he's done. He's not healthy enough to play. We moved him into guard. He played really well. Eric Flowers. Well, we can't have him. Man, he's got a hell of a career out in Arizona, playing really well out there, by the way. Just saying. Probably graded out better than any one of our 5 offensive linemen that have played last week. I'm just throwing that name out there as well, that the Giants told us, oh, we didn't need him, so, but I know I was trying to change the subject and you guys keep running, won't let me. But again, and then this year, Kadarius Toney, what do we need him for? What is he? He's a one-trick pony. He's a one-trick pony. That is all this dude is. Can't run a route. He runs straight down the field. We wasted a first-round pick on a special teamer, if that. And he's not even on the field as a special teamer. So come on. But on a more positive note, the New York Yankees, are playing the most. Yes, Anthony, I do think the Giants, Dave Gettleman's first-round picks were all bad. I will give you the tackle, Thomas, even though he was the worst-rated tackle out of the tackle-heavy draft that year. That maybe he, took me just to catch up to the speed of the game, offensive lineman. He's the only one I think has a chance. A legit chance, because what the Giants will do is they'll draft another tackle and bump him down a spot. So I'm just saying that with that. But the rest of them, I mean, you tell me. I mean, Barkley can't stay on the field. Daniel Jones is Daniel Jones. I mean, hold your breath. He's gonna cough up the ball. He's gonna make a mistake. He's not the guy. Dave Brown. So and what else is there? And then I mean, you get into the later round picks. Where are those guys? Because you remember when the Giants won that Super Bowl, they had all those late round guys came out of the woodwork and were contributors and helping that team turn around and win. It was such a big deal. Those guys are important, those late round picks. They hit on a few of those, and you just haven't. Yeah, I agree. He should have never been picked at number 6. You had two first rounders. He would have been there at the end, and that's more of the thing is I think for me with Daniel Jones is where he got drafted. So the expectation is a lot higher at 6 than it would have been at 18. In my mind, at 6, just because, that pass rusher, God, why is he at Tennessee? Not Tennessee, Jacksonville. I forget. I think it's Jacksonville, but was there, and he was supposed to be, top 3 pick, and he'd fall into the Giants. What a great addition that would have been. And no, we didn't. And Dexter Lawrence, I felt like we reached on him. Oh, and don't forget, we gave up picks to jump back in and get the corner. Is he even in the league anymore? What happened to that kid? I forgot. But anyway, I mean, come on now. Dexter Carter, another guy who you reached for, probably would have been there in the second round. I mean, and Will Hernandez probably would have been there in the third round. Come on, it is, Anthony. It kills me, man. It really does bother me to see this and the way things are. And John Mara is too nice. And everyone forgets that back in the 70s, the late 70s, the NFL had to step in and appoint George Young, the general manager for the Giants, to turn that franchise around. Because, come on, you can't have 2 bad teams in New York. You can't. It can't happen. But yet it is. So something's got to happen. And it starts with Gettleman. Time to move on. All right, now, can I talk about the Yankees now? We finally have them. How awesome is this? I'm excited because I don't really get too excited. It's regular season because it's the long baseball season, Right. Why is Daniel Jones still at QB? You're right. I because we don't have anybody else. Who else? Who are you going to put there? And please don't say Cam Newton. He's suiting up for Bishop Sycamore. There's other guys out there, and even let Glennon just take over, and let's just pack it in. We should have what I feel. What the Giants should have done even was let Eli walk away, sign a Fitzpatrick type quarterback, let him come in for 2 years, let him be the placeholder and kind of get the gap, make a gap between Eli and I think, and this is probably more me than anybody else, but I'm sure there's some Giant fans that feel this way, that Eli got the short end of the stick. They screwed him so bad. They just let everything fall apart around him at the end. And there was nothing there for him, and now all his records, well, that's not his fault. And it's not his fault. What pieces did he have? And it just fell apart, but at least you let Eli go off into the sunset. You have a placeholder, and it gives you a chance to rebuild some stuff and put some pieces in play. I mean, I've been told several times I'm not qualified to coach football. Apparently, at certain levels of high school. But I did coach Division I college, so I think I do have a little itty bitty bit of understanding of the game and how you build a team. And to think you were just going to come in and pluck in a quarterback and a running back and start playing to win, man, are they giving you too many drugs for your chemo that's getting you too high? You know what I'm saying? Maybe you need to be in a cup, Dave Gettleman. Come on. So, but no, Deborah, I'm just saying I have a letter. I will get it out of storage. It's in storage. I have a letter printed out. It says that I'm not qualified to coach football. It just says you're not qualified enough to coach football here, which, I would have accepted, hey, we're going in a different direction. Thank you very much. Something, you're not qualified. Leave it at that. Anyway, so now as I keep going back, Anthony, you keep pulling me back in, man. You keep pulling me back in. And, I'm excited about the Yankees Red Sox this weekend. This is such a meaningful series. So, I mean, it's not this big since what? Since the ALCS? Is it 3 years ago? I mean, I don't really count the COVID year, but it really is, so exciting that this is so meaningful. I mean, here we're seeing playoff, even though the wild card might come down to the Yankees in Boston, it could be decided this weekend. Honestly, the Yankees, I mean, they have to probably there's 9 games left. 9. And I'm going to say they probably have to win 7 of the 9 to, host it. 6 will get them hopefully keep them in it. But it's very Anthony, you're killing me, brother. You're killing me. You pump me up, and then you're going to kick me in the nuts like that? Come on, man. Come on. Man. Oh, cripe. Yeah, I know. There's some idiots out there, and sometimes it's not. It's the here's I always say this. There's a lot of places where there's non-athletic people making athletic decisions. And when you have non-athletic people making athletic decisions, usually your athletic programs are not very good. And in the case, there's a lot of folks know the backstory on this that I'm not getting in on the air and stuff. But there are some coaches that are there and are able to rise above the chaos. So. All right, Anthony. All right, but still, man, you're killing me, Boston. It's the Yankees, man. It is. So, what do we got? We got a call. Here we go. All right, let's bring in Jared. We haven't heard from him in a while. Jared, what's up, buddy? Yeah, Jared. It's just me. Coach is flying solo today. I've been good, Jared. Your Steelers, are in trouble already. All of a sudden they set the world on fire. No, I don't get it because listen, okay, I say this, you've heard it 1,000 times. John Gruden does not make any halftime adjustments. So for you to lose to a John Gruden team is bad. And I think Ben should have left 2 years ago. I'm sorry. Another team that is letting the pieces fall apart around him. Why? Why? Well, wait a second, because look, I mean, you have Dwayne Haskins there, okay, and for all the okay, immature, he can still sling the rock, and I think his athleticism gives you a little bit better chance. With Najee Harris in the backfield, I know you're still patchwork offensive line, but still, having Najee Harris back there kind of alleviates a lot of the pressure for the young kid and give him a chance. I mean, and obviously we're not at practice every day, and maybe and to see the things that they see in order to bring. But I just think Cam and Ben are kind of in that same boat. They're done. It's time for them to go pick up a microphone and be a broadcaster, step in the booth or something. All right, buddy. Have a good one. All right, there you go. There's Jared. Thanks for jumping in, Jared. We appreciate it. I think I don't know. It sounded at the end. I don't think he agreed with my thought process, but it is what it is. So anyway, there, we're running along here, but there is a football game tonight. Only took me 35 minutes to get to it, but it's been great. I appreciate everybody jumping in and chiming in. It's been awesome. Flying by tonight with, and Carolina. And as you guys know, I did get to have a cup of coffee with Matt Rule back in his Temple when he first got to Temple. So, I'm a Matt Rule guy, a fan of Matt Rule. I really love what he's doing there and how he's, turned it around. He went to Temple, turned it around, went to Baylor and just pulled them out and turned them back around, got them pointed back in the right direction before he left. David, I think Carolina does that defense. If you remember, his first year, Matt Rule drafted only defense on the defensive side of the ball. And, now you're seeing the fruits of that labor, those guys flying around. I think they're the number one rated defense. I did double check. I think I saw that they are the number one defense right now. So, and then you take a guy like Sam Darnold, and add him to, again, a Christian McCaffrey in the backfield does wonders for Sam Darnold. All the pressure's off. He knows I have my security blanket behind me. I just have to hand the ball off. I just have to dump the ball off to him, and we're going to get some yards. That is such a relief for a quarterback, especially in a guy like Sam Darnold. And you heard me say this, man. I'm really high on Sam Darnold now that he's away from the Jets. He's going to have a great career on there and probably wind up. I wouldn't be surprised if he sticks with Carolina and is their guy moving forward. So I like Carolina to stay undefeated tonight. I just think there's too much going on in Houston. You got a kid going to make his first NFL start. I mean, he played a little last week, but still, this isn't Stanford. This is, this is the NFL. So we'll see. I mean, I'm going to watch it. Again, this is the kind of Thursday night game should be, two non-divisional rivals. I hated the fact that the Giants and the Redskins played on a Thursday night, let alone it being the second Thursday night of the season. I mean, I'm just not a fan of the divisional games on a Thursday night. I think the NFL, you're big enough, you have enough revenue share, you don't need to put those big games on such a short week of rest is what it is. So I'm yeah, you're right, better than London, but at least they're Sunday and then they got to bye. I just don't like that, you play a game on Sunday and you only have 3 days to prepare for a divisional game at that. Not just a regular game, but a divisional game. And, in football, it's, every game is so important. and and there's so much weight carried in that game. When it comes down to your division record, conference record, then your overall record. So why are those important pieces of that formula calculated on a Thursday? I'm not big on it. That's just what it is. So, but listen, I lasted 40 minutes. That's a little longer than I had anticipated staying on tonight, guys. So I appreciate everyone jumping in, chiming in. Dave, Anthony, Deborah, I appreciate everybody coming in and listening to me bitch and complain about the Cleveland Brown East football team known as the New York Giants. And it really is. We'll be back Sunday morning. Stiz, Nevada Nick will be here Sunday morning, 10 a.m. Fired up, ready to go. Big day of football on Friday. I'm sure Nevada Nick will be putting out some stuff. So check your Facebook and Twitter accounts for Nevada Nick putting his games out for any college stuff. With that, so make sure you like our page if you haven't already. Anthony, go over to YouTube, subscribe to the page, ring the bell so you can keep up on this. We'll be back Sunday morning, 10 a.m. The crew will be with me. And I appreciate everybody doing this. Make sure you share it with your friends. So thank you, everybody. Be safe. Enjoy some football tonight, and we'll see you on Sunday.